All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bids in the Dugout. This will be our Week 13 gambling edition and the last week of the college football regular season. It's come and gone pretty fast, but here we are. We're at the rivalry week. Got the Egg Bowl coming up here in just a couple days on Thanksgiving. Before we dive into how we did last week and what we got coming up this week, I'll tell you all about Rhythm. Each and every week, we're brought to you all by Rhythm, one of the best sports handicapping apps on the market right now. They do a variety of different sports, like we've talked about before: college basketball, football, NBA, NFL, basically anything you want to bet on. There's a handicapping tool for. So y'all go check them out. RITHMM in the App Store, and if you sign up, you get 14 days free to try it out and see how it turns your luck around a little bit. As y'all can see, we're all together here. Chad has come in from California.
Yep, to claim my trophy in person.
Yep. And well, not yet, because I've got a little something up my sleeve. Like turn things.
Well, plus money, changing the rules again.
Yeah, not changing the rules, just getting hot all of a sudden. Oh. So, and then Hitch decided to join us as well. So
I'm going up in last place.
Yes, absolutely, you are.
I'm leaving for 9 weeks.
There's no way it doesn't get it. So, but looking at last week here, I went an impressive 5-1. Best week of the year for me, obviously, plus 4 units. And I told you on my goal last week when we were here was I wanted to break that 15-unit mark. I'm now
negative 15, by the way. If this is your first episode watching, negative 15 unit mark.
I'm now minus 14.55.
Okay.
I did it in a week.
Right. Well, now we get a stretch goal, right? What's your stretch? What's 10? Is that your stretch goal?
No, get the positive.
Oh, shoot. Oh, okay. I said stretch goal, not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're looking to get the green after this week here.
Stretch Armstrong goal.
Exactly. Hitch went 2-4 minus 2.3 units. A rough week for my man Hitch and Chad, and even 3-3, but minus 0.28 units. He ended up losing on a little bit of juice there, so he got a negative, but still pretty overwhelmingly. Chad now 35-33 plus 3.94 units. Hitch 36-35 minus 1.3 units. And as I mentioned, I'm 28-41 minus 14.55. Which I think is more impressive than anything you two have done.
It's really, really bad.
Well,
oh, yeah.
Impressive.
Well, and if people had been taking your advice since week 3, they'd be rich.
I mean, they would just be swimming in it, no doubt about it. So,
fade.
Yeah, so we are going to try to keep this momentum rolling here heading into rivalry week. And, Chad, I don't remember if you were here when me and Hitch talked about it a little bit earlier. Don't like the board this week. It was not real fun.
Mine's a lot of narratives this week.
Yeah.
With travel, I did not have a lot of time to dig into the games, and we're shooting a day earlier than we normally do. So I didn't get to dig in as much as I normally do. So it's going to be a lot of narratives this week. A lot of teams get into bowl eligibility, hopefully. Not a lot of teams, some teams with not a lot to play for. So those were some of the angles that I took, and we'll see how that works out. So.
Swimmingly, I'm sure. I would shoot it over to Hitch if he has anything to add, but he usually just gives a hat tip, okay, yeah, good to go, and then we dive into it. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that now. So we will start this thing out like we have every single show so far this year with my man Chad Flowers here in house with this sweet Tulane shirt.
Yeah, here we go. Home field. Good stuff. My first play, Central Michigan plus 10, minus 110 against Toledo. This is one of those games where Central Michigan is trying to get bowl eligible. Toledo has already wrapped up a spot in the MAC championship game. I think kind of similar situation last year with Toledo where they lost outright. Didn't have a game to play. It was they had already clinched their division. They were not really having anything to play for. They lost outright to a double-digit underdog. So I'm gonna take Central Michigan at home. Against Toledo. That's my first
home. Yeah. That's again, kind of like you said earlier, a lot of narrative plays this week. That's something you have to take into account. People getting bowl eligible, people that are checked out if they've already clinched conference championship games, stuff like that. So when you start laying a number like 10, that's big enough to catch your eye in this sort of spot. So
yeah.
All right, what you got, bud?
I am going with a total first under 54. Not 54.4 that I've got written down. Must be 55 or 54 and a half. Missouri and Arkansas. Arkansas's got 2 running backs and 2 tight ends out. That's going to be killer to an already bad running game. And that's going to put even more pressure on KJ Jefferson to make plays. Yeah, and I think that Missouri is probably going to capitalize on that. And my thought is, what's Arkansas playing for? Nothing. I think Sam Pittman's probably gone anyway. I think Missouri probably extends the lead a little bit and then maybe runs the clock out. That's my thought on it. 55 is just too much for this Arkansas offense to help out in it.
It's a disaster, quite frankly. I looked at this for the Missouri side of it. It was -7.5 earlier today when I looked at it. I love Missouri in this spot. They still have a lot of things to play for, trying to get to the Access Bowl, finish off the season 10-2. But playing in Fayetteville this late in the year, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if either one of y'all know, top of y'all's head, is Arkansas playing for bowl eligibility? Aren't they at 5 wins right now?
Oh, are they? I thought they were.
I thought they were at 5 wins.
They may be.
I thought this would get them to bowl eligibility, and if that's the case,
no, they're 4-7.
Oh, 4 is okay. So they're not going to a bowl then. Yep. But anyway, I like Missouri even more now because they even had that in my head that Arkansas might be playing for a bowl game.
Yeah, I liked. That's why I started looking at it was to look at it for Missouri, but I didn't think that. I thought that it was only going to go up from 7.5. There wasn't a chance it was going to get to 7 or 6.5. Yeah. And so I thought 7. The safer bet was the under because there's a better chance this game is 42-3 Missouri, than it could be, I don't know, 28-24 in Fayetteville. Who knows? Yeah,
and I think there's a chance it does drop a half point and get down to that touchdown because when I looked at it earlier, it was at -105 for your odds. So you usually when you get into that range, there's a chance you end up getting a half point cut off of it. And then if you get down to an even touchdown, then I absolutely love the Tigers here.
Yes.
Oh yeah. If I can get to 7, then I will definitely be on Missouri.
If it would have been 6.5 or 7, that would have been the play instead of the under for me.
Because you got to wonder if Missouri is going to have a chance to play in one of the big bowls.
Yeah, access.
Yeah, Missouri is still playing for a better bowl game. Arkansas, what are they playing for?
And quite frankly, they're trying to hold off the Rebels for that spot. I mean, because one of the two is going to go to a New York 6, right? So you've got to try to put your best foot forward this week to impress the voters when the last rankings come out, because that's pretty much what they go by there. And we're pretty much neck and neck. We're both 10-2. They played Georgia better than we did, but they lost to LSU and we beat them. There's all kind of things you can say both ways to make the argument for each team. So I think both Ole Miss and Missouri will come out and put their best foot forward this week. I know the Rebels danger better.
Yeah.
So, but all right, so my first play, a team that I think is on a mission to also make a statement this week.
Mississippi State.
No, not Mississippi State. Oklahoma, they're at home against TCU. The line's at 10. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, Oklahoma is still trying to lock up their spot in the Big 12 championship game, correct? So this TCU defense gives up a ton of points. They have almost all year long. So I like Oklahoma at home to try to make a statement and just try to put as many points as they can. Not sure TCU's going to be able to keep up with them, so I will take the Sooners at -10, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot it to Chad for his TCU bet real quick.
TCU +10, -110. I think Oklahoma is fraudulent. I definitely don't think that they're a top 10 team. I think they're ranked 14th right now. They're not a very good football team. They barely beat BYU. BYU's awful. And granted, it was in Provo. This is another one. TCU's got 5 wins. They're playing for a bowl.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think they're going to win outright by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't think Oklahoma's defense is very good. So give me TCU. Yeah, Horned Frogs.
Yeah. I didn't even look at this one because every time I've looked at Oklahoma.
Oh, I haven't had good luck with them all year.
They've got me, and then the couple of times that I've done TCU, like they've got it's like I've been completely wrong about what I thought they were going to, and so just never mind. I didn't even look at this one. I hope y'all both win.
I don't think that's. I mean, I guess we could push, but we can't win. So yeah.
I think my friend would be happy if I won because that's how we both win. With TCU covering.
I don't like it with.
It's actually the only way we both win because he would hate me if I
correct.
won.
Yeah, there's in no world would I be excited
ever.
Yeah, unless like a child's life was on the line, and then we'd have to have a negotiation.
I was going to say, I'm kind of confused on which part of the excitement you'd.
Well, look, and it kind of depends on the child too.
That's a great point.
Louisville -7 against Kentucky. The Louisville defense, I don't think they'll have a lot of problems with the Kentucky offense. The one key number I'll point out is Louisville is 18th in stuff, and Kentucky is 126th.
Which stuff?
The right stuff.
Oh, okay.
I like having you beside me. But Louisville is 16th in defensive stuff rate, where Kentucky is 126th in not allowing that on the offensive side. And so that tells me Louisville's probably going to be in the backfield, keeping Kentucky off schedule. And, that pretty much lines up with their rush success rate, which is in the bottom of the country. Louisville does go to Florida State next week.
It's neutral. It's neutral.
Is it neutral?
Yes,
I didn't say where it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Charlotte.
But regardless, it is a huge game.
Yes.
But I don't see them overlooking an in-state SEC, whether or not they've played to that caliber this year, team to get to Florida State. I think Louisville handles Kentucky.
Yeah, and your point about them overlooking them. Mark Stoops kind of had Louisville's number here lately too, right? I mean, this is one they absolutely can't drop if they want to stay in the national conversation. Not that they're going to go to the playoffs or anything, right. But when you're talking about potentially finishing the year 11-1 with the chance to go 12-1 ACC champions, this isn't a game you can overlook. I do like Louisville here. It was one that I looked at. It's not one I pulled through.
Yeah.
So. All right, my second game, I am going to take the Iowa Hawkeyes +2.5 at Nebraska. Quite frankly, 2.5 is too big for either team in this game, I think. So I'll just go ahead and take the best defense in the country, getting points. I know it's on the road. It's not a great spot for Iowa, admittedly. I will admit that they've already clinched their spot in the Big Ten championship game. They're going on the road, but that defense is still going to play. It's going to travel. They're still going to punt very well.
They'll always
Iowa's going to have a long field to go down with that defense too. So I will just go ahead and take the better team with the points.
Yes, I looked at this one probably 3 or 4 times, because I was thinking, man, this stinks, because I've watched Nebraska play this year. Granted, that was with Jeff Sims at quarterback, and I think that they've made the change to Brock Purdy's brother, and they've been playing a little better since then. So that's what made me stay away from it. But initially, when I saw it, I thought, I'm fixing to lose all my money on Iowa.
Yeah.
Which I've been doing all year, apparently, anyway.
Yeah, well, just the overs.
Just overs. Yeah. But,
Speaking of which, this is the third straight week Iowa has set a new record for the lowest total in college football history, down to 26.5 as of earlier Tuesday.
They're going to start changing rules or something. Stop this. It's just it's
so boring.
Bad.
It's so bad. They're bad. I really wanted to get on the under. I just could not make myself. I couldn't make myself take it that low.
Me too.
So, and obviously, I'll go ahead and do this again. I go by Chad's look that he's got Nebraska +2.5 with him, I guess, here.
I've got that -2.5.
Or -2.5.
It's not one of my 5. I'm on Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
Kind of the opposite reasons what you said. I was already there. They've clinched. Nebraska's got 5 wins. They're playing at home, and it's under a field goal. That was the big thing. If it was 3 or more, I probably wouldn't have gotten on it. But that's not one of them. My next one, I got a lot of Big 12 plays this week, but I won't go Big 12 here. I'll go San Jose State +3 -115. They are playing. Oh God, completely just spaced my mind here. Who they're playing, but the big thing about
I'll look it up.
but San Jose State is they've been hot. They're playing UNLV. Sorry. Now Barry Odom has UNLV playing really well. But San Jose State has sneakily been very good. They've won 5 in a row since they lost back-to-back to Boise State and Air Force, and they're winning big. Their offense is playing really well, and I like them as an underdog. So I took them +3, and like I said, I got it -115 against UNLV.
Is this one in Vegas or out?
I Bleav it is in Vegas.
Is it?
It is in Vegas, but I also wonder if UNLV has kind of peaked there at the top. I think San Jose State's a lot better than what the market's giving credit.
Yeah, people haven't talked enough about Barriota.
No, he's done a great job.
Coach of the year for what he's done. I think they had won a combined 3 games over the last 2 or 3 years before he got there. And then he shows up, and I mean, they're on the verge of going 9-3 or something like that this year. Is that right? I mean, he's just completely turned that thing around. It's been incredible to watch. So,
what's his relation to Lamar Odom?
They're not related
at all. What about Mr. Odom that taught me 5th grade?
That's a cool that nobody else knows about. But yes, I don't think
you do though. Don't
I
you?
do know who Mr. Odom was. Yes.
Yes.
I don't remember his first name. Though.
Reginald.
We went to the same school, and I don't even know who that is. So
it's fun this week, guys.
Yeah, we're sure
it's fun this week.
All right, what you got, Hitch?
All right, I'm doing it. I'm going back with the Rice Owls.
Damn, you always play them.
Dude, look at that line. -4 against FAU.
Is this 3 weeks in a row?
Daniels is back.
Is it 3 weeks in a row?
I think it's 4, actually.
Okay.
They won every time?
3 of the 4.
Okay.
The only, I mean, so.
Did you say -4?
Yeah, -4 at home. They're going to put up points. They've done it all year long. And after missing 2 weeks, JT Daniels is going to be back. The question is, the defense going to do enough? And against FAU, like I think so. I think FAU, looking at their numbers, that they'll probably move the ball in between the 20s fairly well against this Rice defense. But once they get inside the 40 and then inside the red zone, Rice kind of buckles down. And we've kind of made it a point to kind of say this in all the games, and this is Rice going for a bowl game, right, for the second year in a row. They haven't played in back-to-back bowls since 2013, 2014. So, it's a big deal. They're still playing. I think actually they beat the shit out of FAU.
What's the total on this one? Just curiosity. Do you know?
I think it was in the high 50s.
Was it? Yeah, I mean, that might be something that I would look at. This isn't the game that I've looked at, so I didn't know. But I think Herman's done a really good job down at FAU this year.
Yeah, it's his first year.
Yeah, exactly. His first year there. I think he can get them going kind of similar to what Lane had going on down there before he came to Ole Miss. So I think that'll be a good game, though. I didn't know JT Daniels was coming back, so that's definitely a big one. I guess it's just a matter of how healthy he is to be in his first game back. But yeah, I can definitely see that. Sorry. I'm going to take UTSA +3.5 against your Tulane Green Wave you decided to rep here today. It's on the road, but UTSA has been playing really, really well here. Tulane hadn't. They've really been playing with their food the last several weeks. Frank Harris for UTSA has been an absolute monster here. They've been putting up a ton of points.
He's on a list with what is it? An award list I saw with the kid from New Mexico State.
Abelia or whatever his name is.
Yeah. He's sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was complimenting what you were saying. Frank, he's had a very good year.
Yeah, he's had a really good year. Tulane's really kind of struggled here the last several weeks. They've had several common opponents here in the last 5 weeks, I was noticing. And UTSA's played better against every single one of them than Tulane has. I know that's transitive property, this, that, and other doesn't always apply. But when UTSA, when a team like this is playing as good as they are, that makes me feel a little bit better about it, especially when they're getting over a field goal, even though it's on the road. So I'm going to take UTSA here. I'm going to ride with them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up winning this one outright.
Jeff Traylor's a good coach.
Really good.
I think I want to say he interviewed at Texas A&M. He may be in that would be an interesting hire because I think he's a Texas guy, and those are the high school connections are a real big deal for having success.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to be much of a stretch for them last week. They absolutely rolled once again. So I like the Roadrunners. Is that right?
That is the Roadrunners.
Yeah. Like the Roadrunners on the road. So
next pick, Kansas -6, -116. They are playing Cincinnati. Look, I don't think Satterfield is very good at Cincinnati. Look what Jeff Baum is doing at Louisville. He's he's lost one game, and then this is his first season. Satterfield did not do very good at Louisville. Cincinnati's been terrible. Last week, Kansas, Bean was hurt. They had a third-string quarterback playing Kansas State, and they damn near beat him. I don't care if Bean's playing or not. I still think that they're the better team regardless because of that coaching staff. Leopold and his crew are fantastic. Less than a touchdown, I'll take it. Minus 116 against a bad Cincinnati team that's nothing to play for.
Yeah, is that one in Lawrence?
It's in Cincinnati.
I mean, not that it matters. I still like Kansas either way.
Anybody outside Jalen Daniels, right? This is just a system offense. Like it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback if it's not Jalen Daniels.
They're still going to put up numbers. It's just that completely different level when Daniels is the guy running it. He is so good. But yeah, I totally agree. Cincinnati's been really, really bad this year. So anything less than a touchdown against Kansas State, I do like.
Yep.
All right.
I'll admit I don't know much about this rivalry game. Y'all may need to educate me. The Apple Cup. I am going with the Huskies minus 16 against Washington State. Washington State, I think this is a really bad matchup on paper for them, right? I said that about the rivalry because crazy things happen, but on paper, this is about as bad as a matchup as it can be for Washington State. They can't run the ball. And watching that game last week, if there is a chink in that Washington team, it's that run defense with a big, strong back that can, run over guys and be elusive. So with Washington State not being able to run the ball at all, they're not going to be able to take advantage of that.
The weakness.
Now, Washington is better in the back half of that defense, right? They rank 35th in yards per catch, 9th in defensive pass PPA, and then when they have the ball, I've got a bunch of stuff written down here. I don't need to say it. We all know what they do. So, Washington's a much better team, and they can't afford to split at home against an in-state rival. I think they'll probably try to build a lead early. And then, maybe if they get a big enough lead, we can get Penix some rest and all that stuff. But I think that they build – I don't know. I think they win this game by like 30.
Yeah,
probably.
I can definitely see it. Big game for Washington. It's not something they can, like you said, allow to slip away because they've already got their way into the Pac-12 championship game. That's playing. But they've got bigger aspirations. They're trying to be one of those Final Four teams. Last part playoff rankings come about. So this is the game they can afford to look over. I think the over, whatever that is, another possible play on
it's like 68.
I think we're going to have points for days in this game.
If this game gets up to 17, though, I think I'm going to be on the Cougs.
Oh, that was the key number was 17, right? Because under 3 scores gives me the home team that's better on paper. Once it hits 17, I think that's a different story.
The reason I like Washington State played really well against Colorado last week. That was kind of a get-right game because they've been playing pretty bad.
Yeah, bad.
Washington has just come through a gauntlet of games. USC, Oregon State, Arizona. Right. So this could be a letdown spot because they've already clinched. And the other thing that may factor in here, we don't know when the Apple Cup's going to be played again.
They
say that
they actually came out last week and they've got it signed on for several more years. I don't think they gave a specific length, but they said it would continue to be played starting next year.
Okay, that you still think there's going to be some animosity between Washington State. There's always animosity; it's a rivalry game, but because of the Pac-12, if it can get up to 17, I will play the Cougs just because I want to have some fun and see an upset. But
I would.
Yeah, I can't play it at 16.
Yeah. Totally agree. So. All right, I'm going to go with another rivalry game that can get pretty heated from time to time. We've got Alabama and Auburn at Gordon-Hare Stadium this weekend, and I can't believe the line is only 14. I think Alabama is going to absolutely roll. There is no love lost between Nick Saban and Hugh Freeze.
No.
This is his first Iron Bowl. And it's in Auburn, and Nick Saban's going to go in there and try to beat the ever-living shit out of that team and run them out of their own damn building.
Hope they do.
As much trouble as they had with New Mexico State, which I know they overlooked them, they did not prepare for them the way that they were supposed to, which was one of the reasons I was on them last week. it doesn't matter if you freeze and that coaching staff and that team a month and a half not playing anybody preparing for this wing game. I still don't think they would cover 14 because they simply don't have the players. Alabama is as locked in as anybody right now, not named the University of Georgia. Quite frankly, can't wait for 2 weeks for over to see that matchup. That's going to be so much fun to watch. But I just think he's going to try to run it up. I don't think 14's anywhere near enough. There's not going to be any Jordan Miracle magic or anything coming up Saturday. Give it to Alabama, give it to me big. And, I mean, if it was 21, I'd probably still play it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this game, and I got really mad thinking that there was a game, there's been a few games early in the season where Alabama was right for the picking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ole Miss had every opportunity to win that game in a down SEC. That was the game that, considering how the other games have gone, that is a game that it is because I don't think
you were right in the same thing at halftime.
If Ole Miss plays Alabama
and you play bad,
played horrible.
If Ole Miss plays this Alabama team, I don't think we stick within 2
Oh
scores.
no,
Yeah,
absolutely
the way
not.
they're playing right now, they figured it out.
Yeah,
and it just makes me mad to see that this was a chance that Ole Miss really slipped away earlier in the season. Me again, last pick. I'm another Big 12. West Virginia -9, 115. It's at Baylor, but look, Neil Brown's done a good job this year. They have. I thought there was a chance he was going to get fired. After this season. There was a lot of rumors about that, and they have turned it around. And this is more just a play against Baylor. More than anything.
they're not very good.
I don't know if they're even going to show up. They've probably quit. I mean, they're not playing for a bowl game. They're a young team. Aranda's a good coach, but this is not the season for them.
No.
And West Virginia, they can get to 9 wins, I Bleav, with this game. So
quietly a pretty good season.
a very good season. I think they got blown
After
out.
a slow start,
They were the first game of the year. They were a 21-point dog at home to Penn State.
Yeah, they lost to Penn State. They had the Hail Mary against Houston that they lost, and then they got boat raced against Oklahoma. But yeah, they've had a sneaky good season, and I think that continues Saturday in Waco.
That Houston Hail Mary still wins, man.
That quarterback is
very
very
he's very athletic.
very good. Yeah.
So give me the Mountaineers. Let's go drink some beers.
Yeah, totally there.
That's their chant. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Let's go Mountaineers. Let's go drink some beers.
Man, you've got Hitch all screwed up.
I really do. I've got them.
Pencil.
Yeah.
I got to write down this. I got to write down the ears.
Yeah. All right, Hitch, what's your last?
UCLA -9.5 at home against Cal.
Okay, going back again, huh?
Ooh, going back again, yeah.
-9.
-9.5. So I said it last week. Chip Kelly's on the hot seat, right? They came out, took care of business, moved him from maybe off the hot seat to the slightly warm seat, but a loss here might put him on the sun. He has to win this game, and their defense is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, and Cal's offense isn't, especially when it comes to running the ball. And so Cal's -5 turnover margin on the road. I think UCLA's defense probably capitalizes on some turnovers and gets some scores. It's ranked 7th nationally with defensive havoc. So Cal is playing to get bowl eligible.
Mm-hmm. Wilcox has done a good job this year. They've quietly been
up and down. They've been so up and down. But Cal's playing to get bowl eligible, and I think UCLA's playing for the coach's job. I'll take the home team under 10 points with this one at UCLA -9.5.
Yeah, that 10 is. If it was 10, I would be on Cal. But yeah, under 10, I think. UCLA.
Yeah, I've started paying a lot of attention to like those half point. Like that thing with like Alabama, right? Like to me, that line should be 17, 20.
Easy.
But with it being 14.5, conspiracy theorist in me makes me think, are they trying to tell me to get on Auburn here? It's weird.
They can tell me all they want to, but I'm never going to do that.
Oh, no, me neither. But just like those, like Chad was saying, those half points, like it's so weird to think at 9.5, I'm on UCLA, but a half point moves, I'm 100% the other way.
Yeah.
It's not that, so it's a good point.
Yeah. which that's the exact mindset I had when I took Kentucky plus 14.5 against Georgia. And we know how that worked out.
They didn't cover.
No, they did not cover. Did not come
Mhm.
close. So, all right, my last pick here. Guys, I'm gonna go back to the well one more time here.
Might as well.
Give me the Jacksonville State Gamecocks -2 on the road against New Mexico State.
I'm on them too.
I love
Obviously, huge win for New Mexico State. Those kids are riding high. They're probably still partying tonight, if I had to guess.
They're getting ready for Liberty.
Yeah, that's it. And already clinched the spot in the championship game, all that. So Jacksonville State, y'all know how much I love this team. I've talked about them damn near since week 1, it seems like. You know, I probably bet on them every single week. But them only giving 2 points here on the road after this huge win for New Mexico State. I just love Rich Rod. I love this team. Love the way they're put together and the way they're playing right now. So give me Jacksonville State less than a field goal here on the road against a big letdown spot here for New Mexico State, I think.
Yeah, basically their bowl game, right? 'Cause this is their last game of the season.
Yeah.
And
Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, this is a good one. I liked it.
yeah, I like Jacksonville State as well.
Yeah, I think I had this game written, and as I was going through the games, these 5, I was surprised that I didn't see Jack State. I was like, no, I thought I wrote that one down, and I think the reason I took it off is because I started reading on that kid from New Mexico State, that quarterback.
Yeah.
And the year he's having, like he's like 27 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
And
Now, one thing about that, though, is if I'm not mistaken, I didn't look this up for the show, so I may be dead ass wrong here. I'm pretty sure Jacksonville State either leads or is right at the top in the country in interceptions on defense.
probably.
I mean, they take the ball away all the damn time.
Yeah.
That defense been really opportunistic whenever you put it up in there.
Yeah, no, I love that pick. I will be on that one Saturday. And I'm actually now that I'm looking at my 5, I'm kind of disappointed that I don't have it on here.
Yeah,
I'm
they
disappointed
should
in you
be.
too.
Thanks, man. I need
I'm actually disappointed
I
both of
need
them.
this.
I've got them. I don't want them. I don't need that one. I got the other 5, so now I got 6 wins.
Oh, okay.
No big deal.
6 wins.
I don't. Well, I take the 6 wins too because now it's time for our plus money plays.
I didn't appreciate that. Yeah, my plus money, pretty simple. Money line parlay, San Jose State, Central Michigan, plus 843. I'm going to try to go out with a bang here.
San Jose State and Central Michigan.
Yep.
Okay.
Plus 843 for a single unit.
All right, Hitch, what are you rolling with?
Give me the Gators
Okay.
Okay.
at I'm sorry. I need to tell you. I think it's plus 210.
Plus 210.
Yeah, I mean, the kid from Florida State, I hate it.
Yeah.
Broke his leg last week.
And Mertz is out for Florida too.
Right. But this is at Florida,
Yeah.
in-state rivalry. It doesn't matter what year it
Yeah.
is. The Swamp is a tough place to play. So, and also I brought up earlier the Louisville game with Florida State, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you could be looking ahead. I don't think Florida State will, right? But
So,
that's part of the narrative.
did either one of y'all get to watch that Florida game last week when that backup came in for Florida?
I watched the very end, Missouri. I watched the Missouri's final drive. That's all I saw.
I just heard that freshman for Florida looked pretty good. I didn't see it myself, so I don't know if either one of y'all called it or not.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know much about Florida State's backup.
I don't know.
Because that Florida defense is not good.
No, it's not very good. So, all right, I'm also gonna go bang here, Chad.
Plus 300,000, I'm sure.
No, not quite that big. Pretty close. Give me a underdog money line parlay. The UTSA Roadrunners,
Okay.
the Ohio State Buckeyes,
Love it.
and the number 16 ranked Northwestern Wildcats.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Parlay together for plus 1705 here. If you made me bet, I would say Michigan pulls this thing out against Ohio State. I think they are the better team, but Ohio State played really good on defense this year. Their offense was really let them down. It won't help them any Saturdays. They're going up against the hell
It was
of
out. Love.
But again, they're still a really good team. They're one of the top 3 teams in the country right now. So if you're gonna give me plus odds on them in a rivalry game, one they haven't won in 3 years. Has Michigan won 3 straight? Is that right? I know they've won 2 straight. I can't remember if they won 3 straight or not. But anyway, Ryan Day wants this, so
he's got to have it, frankly.
Yeah. So if you can give me plus money, I'll go ahead and take it. And Northwestern, that's another guy that's done one hell of a job this year with everything that they've gone
He's
through.
head coach now.
Yeah, I mean, they've named him the head coach. They're bowl eligible out of nowhere after going 1-11 last year. Let Pat Fitzgerald go and all this scandal and all that happening before the year. So he's done a hell of a job. So give me Northwestern.
You don't Bleav in Bert this week?
Do what?
You Bleav in Bert this week?
Well, no, see, me and Bert had a little bit of a falling out earlier this year. And I hate that.
Because their offense stinks.
That generally happens.
Yeah, it generally happens.
Those
So
Big Ten offenses are tough.
So Michigan is what
They're playing Ohio State.
right. I'm trying to make sure I say this right.
They're the Wolverines.
Michigan is what not Penn State, Iowa strives to be, right? That great defense
Yes.
with an offense that
they can put up 30.
They can put up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, they're confident.
I mean, I know that's an obvious statement, but it's Michigan. That offense makes Michigan so much better.
What Michigan wants to do for the entire whatever it is, 60 minutes of the game, they want to impose their will physically over and over and over again. Who was it? Penn State a couple weeks ago. In the second half, they did not throw a single pass. They lined it up, they ran it down their damn throats every single play because they knew that Penn State wasn't going down the field scoring on them. They weren't just going to screw it up. And that's the way they played that game, and they're good enough to do it. It's quite frankly, it's really impressive to see.
And Iowa, what offense has Iowa played this year? They haven't played anybody on the other side of the Big Ten, have they?
No.
Well, they played Penn State. They got blown out by Penn State.
Right. But they're not a fire offense, right?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like Iowa's defense ain't that damn good. I'm trying to say.
I don't get the Drew Aller, isn't that his name for Penn State? I don't get the hype. I've seen a lot of people trying to put him into a Heisman conversation for early next year, and I just don't see it.
Not until he does something against a good defense.
Yeah, that's it, man. He doesn't know particularly well. So,
did y'all have any other games that y'all looked at?
Arizona State. I really, really, really wanted to get on Arizona, but it is at half point. It's a 10 and a half.
I just couldn't do it.
In Boise against Air Force under a touchdown.
Yeah. Now I do think I like the under in the Egg Bowl, 55.5.
Oh yeah.
I do think I really like that. Ole Miss is beat up front right now on that offensive line.
You just said we're not very good up front, and I would have been like, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Either way, and obviously State's not some sort of offensive juggernaut by any stretch. Our defense has played fine this year. It hasn't been anything spectacular. It's been a top, 40 defense or so all year long.
Mm-hmm.
They played well. I just really worried about the Rebels up front for purposes of the total. I think it's 55.5. I looked at it earlier today. Real quick, what are y'all's thoughts on that ball tonight?
I mean, I think it'd be an ugly game. I don't think State's going to lay down.
What's the weather?
It's going to be low 40s and probably rain.
Yeah.
Every
effing
year.
It's a tradition.
Yep. It's the Egg Bowl.
I just immediately thought, like whenever we started talking about the Egg Bowl, and you asked me what the thoughts were. My first thought was, it's going to be raining and cold, and I didn't even know. That's why I asked.
I mean, we were talking about this in one of our group chats earlier this week. Ole Miss has benefited from a down SEC this year. We're a 7-5, 8-4 team in a normal year. Nonetheless, State is bad because it is a down SEC, and they're still not very good. If we don't win by double digits, it will be a disappointment. I think State's going to come out high. It's in Starkville. They've got that interim coach that they know. They played relatively well. It was a slow start last week, but they ended up turning it on against Southern.
And trying to get bowl eligible for the 15th straight year. That's a streak that they absolutely love to throw at you.
And it's impressive.
Sure.
It's impressive. So
now it includes 2 5-7s, just so we're clear. But yeah.
So yes, we are the more talented team. We are the better team.
It's a game you can't lose if you're Ole Miss.
You can't lose.
Okay, it's time for you. You've elevated your program to what it is right now. You're going to go 10-2 if you just take care of business Thursday night. Maybe you don't make an access bowl, depending how everything shakes out.
Right.
But it'll be the second time you win 10 games in regular season.
And you'll be in a January bowl.
In school history.
Yeah.
And it's happened in the last 3 years, both times.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you got your foot on that program's throat. Go ahead and okay.
Yeah.
From a recruiting standpoint, you see it already this year in state, and you can make it.
Don't give them any life.
You can widen the gap even more this Thursday, and I don't want to beat them. I want to fucking embarrass them.
Sure.
I mean, if I'm just being completely honest.
You said Ole Miss can't lose this game. This game can't be close.
No.
It would be a good look.
No.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So just go ahead and end them.
It needs to be that 45-0 trouncing.
Yeah, I mean that obviously that'd be. I don't think that will happen.
I don't either. But I mean, I expect anywhere from a 14 to 21 point victory, something like that. Maybe if we stretch it out to 3 scores.
Surely we can't look worse than we did last year.
No.
Because that was an awful Lake Bowl to watch.
No, that can't be the case. So, but I just want to get y'all's thoughts on that.
Yeah. And going back to the games I like Virginia and Rutgers.
I like Rutgers.
I like Rutgers at home.
I'm on Purdue as well against Indiana.
I think Maryland is careless with the ball, and against a Rutgers team that's a recipe for disaster. And it was a pick 'em earlier. I think Rutgers -1 now.
Yeah.
And then Virginia has just impressed the shit out of me over the past few weeks. To start out as bad as they started out, man, they have really turned a corner and played well. I think they're a 2.5 point dog at home against Vatech.
It was 3 last I saw.
I kind of like Virginia in that spot.
What about do y'all have any opinions on Clemson traveling to Columbia for the South Carolina game? Was it 7.5?
Earlier I saw it. Yeah, but it may be different.
I can't see how Spencer Rattler doesn't damn near die.
Yeah, I know. Like that makes me like Clemson, but I didn't like it enough to make it one of my picks here.
Yeah,
Clemson's really playing well here.
They really are.
They
so I would probably lean Tigers if I'm going to play that game, which I don't have any interest in right now.
Like Texas Tech.
What's that number against?
Oh, yeah. That's another one that I really like. I did like Texas Tech. It's their last shot at Texas. They're going to be in the SEC next year, so they're really going to want it. And
it's in Lubbock. Weird things happen in Lubbock.
Is it in Lubbock?
It's in Austin.
Right? That's what I thought. But Texas Tech's athletic director decided to come out before the year even started and announced to the public, making sure his head coach knows that he expects them to beat Texas this year.
Okay.
So they're going to be geared up for that one. Now, oppositely, I bet Sarkisian heard that too. If I heard it here in Inville, Mississippi, I'm sure it made the way to Steve Sarkisian too. So they're probably not going to be overlooking me. If it gets above the number of 14, like it's 13.5 now, right? What y'all said? Yeah, I mean, if you start stretching it above 2 scores, that's when I would start thinking about
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, well, and oddly enough, I like Oregon at home, against Oregon State. Yeah. They're not the same team on the road that they are at home.
Yeah.
Oregon's very good, and it was under 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oregon's trying to impress. They're going to get their shot at Washington again next week, and they're trying to get Bo Nix a Heisman, right? I mean, they're going to try to get his numbers up and kind of playing off that. Same way with LSU and Jaden Daniels this weekend.
I think Jaden Daniels should win the Heisman. As good as Bo Nix has been. What Jaden Daniels is the reason LSU has the number of wins that they have.
Jaden Daniels has had as impressive of a season as I've seen since Joe Burrow was at LSU.
The throws that he's made, talking back to the Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
There were throws that you can't defend.
No, we had guys there.
Yeah, you can't defend against
them. And not only we had them there, they timed their jumps right. They did everything they were supposed to do, and it still got over their hands, and he's just dropping it.
And that's why I loved them last week against Georgia State, just because what are they playing for? They're playing for a Heisman.
Yeah, I saw a stat the other day. Jaden Daniels has led LSU to touchdowns on their last 17 consecutive drives.
That's what you want.
God, that makes okay. Well, because I looked at this, I looked at A&M and LSU in Baton Rouge.
I think I like LSU.
I do
there.
too.
What's the number?
11.
11, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to sit there and Daniel's going to do his thing all over again. They're going to try to pad his numbers, try to get the Heisman. And they've lost, 3 games? Is that right, LSU?
I Bleav that's right.
So they're going 9-3. It was us, Alabama, and Florida State.
Florida State.
Yeah. They're still looking to finish 9-3. Still have a chance to go to a pretty good bowl game here. But the big one for me is I know LSU wants to pad his numbers, try to get him the Heisman trophy there. So I expect a lot of points to be put up there in Baton Rouge this weekend. So I do like the Tigers.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right, y'all got anything else before we get out of here?
I don't know.
I think Utah is such a big number against Colorado. I don't like it either way, really. I just think it's interesting that Utah is a 22.5-point favorite.
Colorado may be done for the year. They may be closing up shop.
And
sure. Sure. It just it was a shocking number to see Utah.
Yeah, and what's the total on that one? There was
52.
Maybe it's Penn State. I'm thinking about the favored by 21, and the total's only like 45.
Michigan State.
Yeah, it's only like 44, 45, something like. I mean, just sitting there trying to do the math in your head. If they're going to cover, then is it going to go under, or vice versa, right? I mean, you're sitting there really playing with numbers for that to fall the right way. So I found that line and total very interesting, even though I don't really have an opinion one way or another.
It's a bad opponent, so I would imagine Penn State is going to cover.
Yeah, I think so. And I just don't think Michigan State will be able to score on.
Yeah, they're playing that in Ford Field, actually.
Yeah. Two more that one I liked, and one I just curious what y'all's opinion is. I liked Iowa State against Kansas State, just for the reason that it's more than a touchdown, and Iowa State has just improved, throughout the year. I think they had a rough one a couple of weeks ago, but I mean, against Texas, they were right in that. I mean, Texas won by 10, but I mean, they were in it. They were in it the whole time. And then I'm just curious, James Madison, they lost, right?
Yeah, they're minus?
Well, they were 9 this morning against Coastal, and now it's 8.
And it's in Conway, right?
Do they come out and play?
I don't know if they do or not. I mean, this is their last game of the year. It doesn't look like any of their waivers are going to get approved. Last I saw, they were taking it to court to try to get an injunction by a judge and all that. Yeah, it is stupid, but they also knew the rules coming into it as well. I don't agree with the rules. I think they need to do away with them, but I also don't think James Madison should be able to do anything about it right now.
No, for sure. I'm with you on it. I looked at it. I almost included it. I almost went with Coastal.
Yeah.
For that reason, it just, Coastal's burned me.
Well, that and the loss they're coming off of last week too. There was such a high there with game day in town, and they let down against App State, and now they're looking up and they're about to play the last game of the year on the road. Coastal's not a bad team,
that's letdown level, like New Mexico State's looking at too.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't hate Coastal there if it's going to stay around the 8-9 number or something like that. But more than likely, I'll just stay away from it altogether.
I'm in the same boat there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all riding out here. Chad, good seeing you again in person instead of over a computer.
You look great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
you look marginal.
Always. But again, appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. This will be our last gambling show, apparently. Who knows? Maybe we get a wild here and throw a random bowl show or something. Who knows? But the end of the college football season's here. Appreciate everybody that's been here with us this season.
I like college basketball too.
Oh, I love college basketball. Now, I do have a feeling that'll probably just be a Dids and Hitch show, though. I don't know how
we might bring a guest. We may bring a guest. We may bring a guest on occasionally.
Yeah. So, but yeah, guys, appreciate y'all joining us all year long here, and also Chad and Hitch carving out the time they have every week to be here with me. So, I appreciate it, guys, and hopefully we can't all win bets this week. Hitch, I hope you win every bet this weekend. I hope I win every bet this weekend. I hope Chad wins
the competition.
5, something like that. No, I'm winning the competition. I already told you that. Because you are going to crater, go negative, and then I'm going to hit my parlay and get in the green. So mission accomplished. Plan is in place. Now we just have to execute. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Everybody appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch up with y'all next time.
Bye.